We're going to talk about the Sabbath. We're going to address it from God's viewpoint, in the physical and the spiritual. And so the physical is pretty basic. You know, God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and on the same seventh day he rested. And God designed that. That is our example because he knew that we needed physical rest. That is a gift from God. And we still practice that in Western culture. So to address the spiritual, the rest that we have in him, we're going to start in Romans chapter 14 and verse 6, because there is a lot of contention on what day's the Sabbath, what day you celebrate it. And, you know, if you don't, people are very judgmental and in a lot of ways condemning. Like if you're not in church on Sunday and that's the Lord's day, you know, then God may not forgive you, or you'll have to answer to God for not being in a church building, you know. And God's not in a temple made with hands. His Holy Spirit dwells within us. And so it's about the inner man, about the soul, about our intent in anything that we do. Anything, whether we're going to work, whether we're eating a meal, whether we're celebrating a holiday. So we'll start in Romans 14:6. He who observes the day observes it to the Lord, and he who does not observe the day, to the Lord he does not observe it. He who eats, eats to the Lord, for he gives God thanks. And he who does not eat to the Lord does not eat and gives God thanks. For none of us lives to himself, and no one dies to himself. For if we live to the Lord, and if we die to the Lord. Therefore, whether we live or die, we are the Lord's. And what Paul's saying is, what we observe and choose to practice as far as like holidays and, you know, how we choose to eat our meals and you know, we have a lot of liberty in those things. And Paul's saying, in whatever you do, whatever you observe, do it unto the Lord. And so we're going to take a look at Colossians 2:16 and 17. So let no one judge you in food or in drink, or regarding a festival or a new moon or Sabbath, which are a shadow of things to come, but the substance is of Christ. So what he's saying here is that the substance needs to be of Christ. That's your foundation. And that, you know, we shouldn't judge out like what someone chooses to observe as a holiday, like Christmas and Easter and the Sabbath. The day that people observe it is irrelevant. It's irrelevant because God had a deeper meaning and intent for what people call the Sabbath. And we're going to look at Matthew starting in chapter 11 in verse 28. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lonely in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. And at that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath, and his disciples were hungry and began to pluck heads of grain and to eat. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said to him, Look, your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath. But he said to them, Have you not read what David did when he was hungry? he and those who were with him, how he entered the house of God and ate the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, nor for those who were with him, but only for the priests. Or have you not read in the law that on the Sabbath the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Yet I say to you, in this place there is one greater than the temple. And if you had known what this means, I desire mercy and not sacrifice, you should not have condemned the guiltless, for the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. And what he's telling the Pharisees is, don't get caught up in your rituals. Don't get caught up in your rituals and obeying what you think the law is, or making up man-made laws as that is the focus of the importance. It's not. Because Jesus is saying, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. The Sabbath was a foreshadowing that we would find rest for our souls in him. And that should be every day. That's not a specific day. If you know him, your soul rests in peace in him.